For the first time, we are hearing from a Knoxville man accused of trying to help the terror group ISIS. In an interview from jail, Benjamin Carpenter says he has no regrets and does not consider himself a terrorist.
Do you support the Islamic State?
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm pro. I have no qualms of being described as pro-Islamic State.
He stands by his actions and is defending himself in federal court. Some legal experts we spoke to are raising questions about the legal case against him.
Carpenter tells reporter Cole Sullivan he is confident he will beat the charges.
What do you think your chances are with this case?
God willing, and with his permission, it'll be dismissed and thrown out. If it makes it a trial, God willing, I'll be found not guilty.
31-year-old Benjamin Carpenter puts his faith in God and in the First Amendment.
It's simply just not a crime, what they're accusing me of.
The former West High School student converted to Islam in his 20s and now supports ISIS, the terror group the president says poses an extraordinary threat to national security and that's claimed responsibility for shootings, beheadings, and bombings. The government accuses Carpenter, also known as Abu Hamza, of trying to help ISIS and calls it, quote, jihad with a pen. He believes the Constitution protects him under freedom of speech, but prosecutors say Carpenter went beyond that when he agreed to help an undercover FBI agent translate an ISIS video. They say the 25-minute video, titled Bleeding Campaigns, shows footage of a suicide bombing and 3 executions, including one person alleged to be an Israeli spy.
Hold on a second.
On a low-resolution video chat from the Knox County Jail,
Appreciate it.
Carpenter says he translated material for a pro-ISIS website he helped run.
And if that happens to support individuals overseas, then so be it.
What about this video that they're accusing you of editing? Because that is an Islamic State video, is it not?
Yeah, it is. And it's similar to what we've done previously. The Islamic State would release something in Arabic, and I would find that beneficial, and we would translate it.
Are you innocent of attempting to help the Islamic State?
Yeah, through their legal statutes, and yeah, I'm not guilty of, definitely not guilty of what they're accusing me of.
ETSU terrorism scholar Paul Kamolnik says ISIS relies on supporters like Carpenter.
What they've been reduced to is this strategy of what basically they call individualized terrorism.
Beaten back by international militaries, he says the terror group needs the internet and people sitting behind computers translating material for it to spread propaganda.
That is the only way they reach audiences.
The government says Carpenter talked with other ISIS sympathizers online and praised the Nashville Christmas Day bombing. When we asked, he expressed support for the 9/11 attacks.
They're definitely justified.
Endorsing attacks and spreading words may not be illegal, but instead protected free speech, says defense attorney T. Scott Jones.
It is certainly repugnant to most folks' way of civilized thinking, but it's not a crime in and of itself.
Carpenter says he never planned or participated in violence.
If I did, the government would surely know about it.
Unless he did some overt act other than just translating, I think the government's going to have a hard row to hoe, so to speak.
Jones, who is not connected to the case, says the translation alone is not a crime.
It's a question of whether or not you materially assisted a terrorist organization, and obviously that's going to be a question for the judge and eventually a question for the jury.
Carpenter says he's ready to argue his case himself.
I kind of knew that the government would try to snag me at some point.
You're saying you spent the past few years preparing, expecting that you will probably get arrested at some point?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Behind bars since last March, Carpenter says he isn't worried if he gets the maximum sentence of 20 years.
And I can worship God inside of jail or outside of jail. And if God wills for me to be in jail, he wills for me to be in jail. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
A former federal prosecutor I spoke with says there's likely a lot more in this case we don't know about yet. It's likely still under seal or classified information, though he says in his experience, the U.S. Attorney's Office does not bring a case unless they believe they can win it. Reporting from Knoxville, I'm Cole Sullivan.
Federal prosecutors declined comment on the case. It is set for trial in August.